who consider the possibility that you need consciousness to have an event. So I would like to propose a democratization of the observer. So the observer doesn't need to be macroscopic, doesn't need to be doesn't need to perform a record, doesn't need all these kind of things. The only thing, so in fact, to the point that in relational quantum mechanics, the observer can be anything. Could be a particle, could be myself, could be the apparatus, and it can be also a quantum observer. So the observed system could be a quantum system, and the observer itself could be a quantum system. They are on the same foot. The property is the fact that the observer is arbitrary. What I mean is that when I take this partition in subsystems, which the observer is can be one or the other. So if I consider one-dimensional problem with the two particles colliding, one can measure the position of the other, but it's also true the opposite, that the other one can measure the position of the other. So it's totally symmetric. And so when I take this division, whether I consider one subsystem of the other, I can measure different things that are all viable. So my conclusion is the fact that it is true. The long-standing debate, this is my last slide, the long-standing debate about the fact that the observer is needed is well-founded, but it's in this sense that the observer is needed in the sense of a partition. So there is no sense in which things happen unless there is an interaction between two subsystems.
In the theory explained in these videos, consciousness is the most advanced part of a universal process. This is a process of energy exchange, formed by electromagnetic activity and the movement of charge. Charge is an innate part of all matter. Therefore, the electromagnetic activity in the brain that forms consciousness is universal. At the most fundamental level, we have the same electromagnetic activity, only the structure of the matter doing the processing is different to biological cell life. In biological cell life, we have the distribution and organization of positive and negative charges relative to the membrane of each living cell, with positive and negative charges forming the potential for a binary process, like zeros and ones. In this theory, the potential for this is formed by light and matter in the form of electrons, having wave-particle duality. Light is an electromagnetic wave over a period of time with particle characteristics, or photons, as an uncertain probabilistic future unfolds relative to the atoms of the periodic table. If consciousness arises when information is being processed in complex ways, then it's merely the structure of the electromagnetic processing that is fundamental, not the type of matter doing the processing. In physics, the photon represents the particle aspect of light and is a carrier for electromagnetic fields. The wave-particle duality of light and matter in the form of electrons could form an emergent physical structure for conscious awareness to arise. We can have electromagnetic waves with new photons coming into existence when the waves interact with electrons of atoms, forming a probabilistic, uncertain future. Light photon energy is continuously transforming potential energy into the kinetic energy of matter in the form of electrons. Kinetic energy is the energy of what is actually happening. This emergent electromagnetic activity would be fundamental to how the brain produces consciousness, in a similar way to how electromagnetic waves are fundamental to how a radio produces music. The fact that light has momentum and momentum is frame dependent could give us a physical reason why conscious awareness is always in the center of its own reference frame, in the moment of now, be able to look back in time in all directions at the beauty of the stars. In this theory, conscious awareness is the most advanced part of a universal process and is an integral part of the dynamic structure of the universe.